In this new age of spirituality, I'm sure you all have been bombarded by many people's ideas and beliefs and concepts as to what really matters versus what is not important in life. You just have to go online, especially on social media, and you would see many of these sayings which are often misleading and can be even disabling in your life. And what I find very fascinating is that so many people read these concepts, these ideas or sayings, and without giving them much thought, they give them lots of thumbs up, lots of likes, and they even comment in agreement. So let me share with you a few of these sayings, and then I will give you what I hope is a more open perspective on them from a different angle. I'm going to share with you four sayings. And the first one is, what is important in life is not money, but people. The second one, there is no value in things, only people. The third one, and today this is a big thing, is that we are being told that you don't need an education. Business has now become the big thing. Everybody must go into business. And my all-time favorite, the fourth one, rich or poor, we are all going to end up in the same hole when we die. And they even show you the hole. Um, and implying that being rich is not very important. And in other words, it's okay, be poor. So let me break all of this down to you down for you in a very simple way to help you determine what really matters if you want to have a level of happiness and some kind of peace of mind to be able to evolve spiritually. So let us look at the first saying with regard to money. Let me tell you this, money matters. It is needed so that you can provide yourself and your family with a safe roof over your heads. Do you know how insecure it is not to have a place to call home? There are many people on the streets who can vouch for that. Do you know if you have to worry all the time about where to live and whether you can afford to live there, that you can't even settle yourself down to even think about God consciousness, to engage in spiritual practices in a very disciplined way? It becomes more challenging. You need money to buy your food. And yes, some people would say, well, I don't need to buy food. I can plant my garden. Yes, but in order for you to have the land to plant your garden, you need to purchase the land or even rent a space, a piece of land, and therefore you need money. Money is used as a form of consideration for the exchange of products and services. So you have to pay for your phone, your internet service to be able to watch this video, and other services that you need, water, electricity, etc. It is needed for a level of sustenance here on earth. So do not devalue its importance and relevance in life. Even gurus with spiritual centers, churches, mosques, temples, whatever you want to call it, they all need it and they value it. So why do you think you don't need it and it's not as important as people? Even when gurus provide you with something that appears to be free, such as yoga classes, their teachings, and even food, which is very common in Indian spiritual gatherings, somebody else who may be better off than you they're paying for it. So in order for you to enjoy that food or teachings that the spiritual center is offering you. So now you can stop swearing or demeaning those who money and those who are well off, because the well off people are actually helping to provide for you too. So stop devaluing these, but appreciate their worth and place in this whole play of life. Now, the second one is do not value things, do not place too much value in things. Okay? It's all about people. If you don't have things to make your life a bit more comfortable and you have people in it, you would see very quickly how they can become unhappy because you're not helping to provide those things to make life a little more comfortable. And they become unhappy with you. And when they become unhappy with you, you become unhappy too, right? You will see very quickly how those people you think are more important than things, how they will end up not having much value to you, especially here in our Western world, who love to write off people and family, and and where there's an imbalance in value of things versus value of people. I have seen people who don't have much needed things. They don't have much comfort like us here in the Western, I would say North America, because this is where I live. But they have each other, and they're even happier than those who have lots of things in their life. They know how to be with each other and yet maintain a certain level of interest in God consciousness. You just have to look at yogis and ascetics. They don't own things, they have access to things to use, yet they joyfully seek God consciousness. And they're helped and provided for by those who respect them and honor their paths. And so don't think the yogis and ascetics are just taking from them. By their raising their vibration in this world, they're helping to keep this world in a certain balance, as well as many of them actually provide you with a service of wisdom that they have gained, insights into life, into God consciousness. So in a way, they're even earning their keep here on earth. You may not be a yogi or an ascetic. As such, you must be practical based upon what part of the world in which you live and what it is you actually need for your survival and for your comfort, in order to live an inspiring life, in order to get up every day and have a bright outlook in life. You need things in life. You need to buy spiritual things too, spiritual books, spiritual movies. You need sacred objects to help you to focus and remember God. You may even want to attend some spiritual retreats and be able to afford it. Okay? So, yes, you do need things. They matter in your life. But learning how to balance it is the key. And now for my all-time favorite. We will all end up in the same hole when we die. This one gets so much thumbs up and likes. It's very fascinating, actually. I say, if we are all going to end up in the same crummy hole when we die, well, while I am alive and I'm above that hole, let me at least have something better, more comfortable and enjoyable. If I do that, it would put me, in fact, not just me, but if you all do that, it would put you in a better frame of mind. Life would feel less stressful in such circumstances, and you would end up in a better state of being to learn something about a higher level of consciousness than only turning to God, begging Him for things. There is no need to reject comfort unnecessarily, to live unnecessarily in a hole while above the ground. If you do not have skills and knowledge and talents to live better than the whole, and if you've encountered adversity along the way in life, then that's a different matter, a different reason for living in not a much better place. Okay? My whole point here is the unnecessary rejection, believing that somehow the whole is much better while you're living above ground. Okay? The other point is, the next one is the downplay of education today. I find this to be very disappointing, and what it is doing is discouraging people from getting an education who actually have the ability and potential. If you don't have the mental capacity, the brain power for it, is one thing, because everybody is at a different level, right? Not everybody have that brain power, which is understandable. That's the play of life. That's creation. You know, I have a friend who actually never went to college or university, but is very much involved in research and development. And it involves a lot of physics and engineering. He is self-taught, and to me, that is education. Okay? Some may have the ability, but they may not have the means. And this is understandable, right? Could you imagine? I like to say, I am so glad that my surgeon got an education, because could you imagine going under the knife by an uneducated surgeon? You wouldn't want that, right? You see, not everybody will have the ability to run a business, and it's great to have an education to help you have a better opportunity in life, at least in some career path. If you are not educated, this whole thing about education, if you are not educated, I say at least strive for a higher level of intelligence, of insights and wisdom, God consciousness, so that at least you can evolve consciously. And what I'm going to share about education now, I know I can easily get a backlash for it, and it's okay, because what I'm showing you is different angles around this whole topic of education and intellect and intelligence. So I encourage you to stay open and listen very carefully. If you lack both intellect and some level of intelligence, do you know it's going to be very unpleasant to deal with you? And you will end up finding it unpleasant to even deal with yourself. At least if you're educated, you have some level of intellect, but you lack the intelligence, the high intelligence, there would be some level of ambition in you. Something smart can at least come out of your mouth. If you have no education, but you pursue high intelligence, some degree of pleasantness will exude out of you. Having neither intellect, education, or even intelligence, high intelligence, what that can do to you is make you become very dull and very uninteresting and very close-minded. And I've been exposed to all of this. And therefore, that's why I can say this with certainty. Okay? Now, there are some who are neither educated, they don't have the intellect, they don't have the brain power, and they don't have the wisdom or insights, any kind of high intelligence. But you know what? They lack one, they actually possess one beautiful quality, and that is called humility. They realize they don't know, but they're humble enough to accept that they don't know, and they stay open. So they're ready to receive something greater, wisdom, knowledge. And to me, that too is intelligence. Education, intellect, high intelligence. Why it's good to have this in that combination? It allows you to be readily available and open to learn, grow, and evolve. So don't downcry education, don't downcry intellect, don't downcry intelligence. In combination, together, they can create wonders in your life and help you to evolve as a human being spiritually. What brought about many of these misleading sayings is really the excess in our lives. Too much money, too much stuff, too much creating, as we are seeing now with artificial intelligence. While it has its place in enhancing life in some way, it is also creating and can create much destruction in our lives. So it's the extreme. When you create a false identity with everything you've accomplished, everything that you own. Understand, this is just for a temporary use on earth. You're not taking it down the hole with you, right? And in fact, just to tell you a little thing about this hole, the saying about we're all going to end up in the same hole? I'm sorry to tell you, I am not going down in a hole. This body that I'm using, when its use is it's done, that is what is going down in the hole. Okay, when that goes down in a hole, you're going to stop and you're going to watch your body and realize, eventually have to detach from it and realize it is done. It's staying in that hole. Okay, and you are leaving. All right, so this is just to show you that your body, respect it, respect that it's your vehicle of transportation here on earth, because eventually you're going to be detached of it. You're not taking it with you into the afterlife, right? So too, everything you have accomplished here on earth, everything you have and you own, you're not taking it with you. It cannot go with you. So you might as well detach, appreciate their value and their purpose in your life. But understand that so you can remain detached from it. Okay? Because really and truly, when it's time for this body to go in the hole, what you're going to be taking with you, and you're going to realize very quickly how you are not really this solid world, you are not this body, right? What you are going to be taking with you are your qualities, your abilities, your influences that have left great impressions in your life. So you're going to be very careful about the type of influences you have in your life. Your state of consciousness, the kind of deeds you engaged in, the intention that was behind them. These are what you're taking with you into your next life, into your afterlife. What it would be like for you is going to be determined by all of this that you take with you, the subtle qualities. What brought on all these sayings also, it's, many people look at the accomplished and the affluent and how much noise they make about what they've accomplished and achieved in life. They boast about all their achievements, which have become a big turnoff to many people. The need to stand out above others brought on these types of sayings. The rich likes to stand out above the poor, and the poor above the rich, and those who are accomplished above those who are not accomplished, things like that. Attachment to what you have gives you a false sense of worth. Okay? All of these things is what is bringing on these sayings. Do not fall into the trap of these sayings. Understand that all of these things have its place. They have their place in your life. So what should you do? I say go ahead. Acquire your money, your things, your education, your career, your passion, whatever that is. Nurture relationships, because you need relationships in order to get things done in this world. Even gurus have relationships, people in their lives, in order to help them carry out their work. You need good relationships for support, especially during times of adversity, and we all go through that. As you get old, or if you're sick, you need good people in your life to bring comfort and encouragement and to help you. So I would say consider which part of the world you live in and what you need to exist there comfortably. Look at time, place, and circumstance always. Use all of these that you acquire responsibly and appropriately. Do not have unhealthy accumulation, because I'll tell you this, the more you have, the more you are going to have to be concerned about and how to maintain it. And that is going to create a lot of disturbance in your mind. And likewise, do not have an unhealthy lack, because this is going to create worry and concern for you every single day. It will become a burden to you, and you can become a burden to others because of all the disturbance that occurs within you. Okay? Detach. Hold on very loosely to whatever you have in life. Do not go about creating a false identity with them. Look at who I am because of all this. Look at what I've got and what I've accomplished, right? I'll tell you this, what grace gives, because anything you have comes from grace, grace can also take away. Okay? Detach, because any kind of false identity will eventually bring you misery if you lose it, right? If grace takes it away. Detach, because any feeling of self-importance or some sense of superiority above others, thinking you're above others, is actually bad karma for you. And therefore, it becomes a hindrance to your own spiritual evolution, because that false self-importance has in it a big lack of humility and gratitude. So yes, see your money, things, education, career, and relationships, they all matter and should not unnecessarily be one exclusive of the other. They all matter in your life. Just understand the place and practical purpose that all your money, things, education, career, and relationships serve in life. They each have their rightful place and purpose, so don't go about discrediting them and devaluing and being ungrateful. Okay? Keep these in a healthy balance so you could actually help yourself and help others too, and not be too much of a burden to other people. And I'm sharing all of this because I've walked through the good and the bad in each of these. Okay, so that's why I can say this with a lot of confidence. To be able, you want to keep these in a healthy balance also, to be able to vigorously investigate the questions that we must all explore very deeply. The questions such as, who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Is this experience reality? Are there other possibilities or realities? Where am I going? What is life really all about? What is this whole thing all about? So keep them all in a healthy balance so that you can stay open to be able to transform and evolve consciously daily. Having just enough of these comforts in a very healthy balance, what it does, these readily facilitate and makes it much easier for self-exploration and growth. And while lack and losses can also prompt self-exploration and growth, the difference is it is not going to be as easy compared to when you are very comfortable in life. Lack and losses can push you into self-exploration and growth, but it's going to be very forceful. There'll be a lot of discomfort and very challenging. So I encourage you, if you are in a comfortable place in life where you just comfortably enough, don't take it for granted and waste it continuously on outer pursuits, running after more and more to accumulate and to have, to say this is what I can do and what I can have, and to stand out above others. Do you ever consider to meditate more, pray more, help more, give more, become more of a better human being, and to engage in everything that improves your qualities as a human being, to evolve spiritually, to evolve consciously. Use it wisely, whatever you have that you're comfortable with. Use it, this comfort level, this having enough, use it wisely as a sacred gift and blessing, as a sacred opportunity for inner exploits before life comes and takes away all your comforts just to wake you up. In the end, while everything you have around you matter for your existence, your state of being is what matters most. The state of equanimity you can maintain no matter how much or how little you have, or how much you have failed, or how much you've succeeded in life. It's the state of equanimity that matters. And this is what we are all being called to strive toward through our life experiences. So in other words, keep everything in the right perspective in life, for all come together to make your life a whole. And I will encourage you that if you allow it, remember this, if you can allow it, God is good all the time.